Welcome, new hero villains! You think Captain America vs. The Thing? A clash of pure will and power. Who will win? Captain America, or Steve Rogers, is the embodiment of the perfect super soldier. Thanks to the super soldier serum, Cap possesses strength, speed, endurance, reflexes, and healing ability far beyond that of a normal human. He is also famous for his superb hand-to-hand combat skills, innate tactician, and unmatched leadership. His legendary Vibranium shield is not only used for defense, but also as a powerful weapon in Cap's hands, making all opponents wary. The Thing is Ben Grimm, a block of pure power. After being exposed to cosmic radiation, Ben's body transformed into a giant stone creature possessing terrifying physical strength, extremely high damage tolerance, and superior durability. Not only that, Ben is also a veteran warrior, a former military pilot with a steel spirit, not easily defeated. Before we delve into the analysis, please click the subscribe button, remember to turn on notifications, and click on the bell icon. Thank you very much. Captain America, whose real name is Steve Rogers, is not only a symbol of courage, but also the perfect embodiment of strength. Thanks to the super soldier serum, his physical strength has reached a transcendent level far beyond what the natural body can achieve. Explosive speed, resilient endurance, and lightning-fast reflexes help him easily dominate the battlefield like an unstoppable steel tornado. However, physical strength is just the tip of the iceberg. Captain America reveals his innate tactical talent. He is like a veteran chess player calculating every move in the midst of a rain of bullets and a storm of fire. Every punch, every move is a sharp chess piece, creating a suffocating siege of the opponent. In addition, Steve's close combat skills are a synthesis of dozens of martial arts, from boxing to judo, smooth and fluid like water, both powerful and flexible. Captain's iconic weapon, the Vibranium shield, in his hands is no longer simply a defense. It turns into a deadly dagger that cuts through the air with absolute precision. Each throw of his shield is like a skilled ninja artist controlling a frisbee, gentle but vicious, able to knock down the opponent in just one breath. Under that simple cape, Captain America is the nightmare of every enemy, carrying strength, intelligence, and indomitable courage. Captain America, with his superior physique, can easily lift a Harley-Davidson, a famous heavy and imposing motorcycle. The dry weight of the bike alone is up to 540 pounds, not to mention the full fuel tank, pushing the total weight to about 610 pounds. However, Captain America also bears the weight of 3 women sitting on the bike, with a total estimated weight ranging from 400 to 450 pounds, depending on the person. This means that Steve Rogers has lifted a total mass of over 1,000 pounds, equivalent to nearly 500 kg, without showing any tension on his face. His muscles are tight, his eyes are cold, every move of his exudes majestic strength and absolute dominance. Being more than just a warrior, Steve Rogers is the embodiment of a living legend, where human limits are torn to pieces. He can pull a beam that can weigh about 1035 tons. That beam is held in place by a piece of debris. Taking into account that Cap has been shot at least 3 times in the upper abdomen and has knife wounds, can easily tear a log in half with his bare hands. To do this, Cap must have generated a force of at least 7.1 tons. He stopped a car weighing about 1,900 pounds from falling until the bumper broke. Captain America can push a 58-ton bulldozer 50 yards faster than Deathlock in less than 16 seconds. While this may not be shown, it is still a feat worth considering. Captain America's true limits were pushed during his epic confrontation with Thanos, the most powerful enemy in the universe. While there is no exact figure for the weight of Thanos' arm, the fact that Cap was able to hold back an attack from a being of godlike strength is extraordinary. Steve Rogers' body tensed up to withstand the terrible weight not even an inch back. Captain America also demonstrated explosive strength when confronting Ultron, an opponent weighing about 1,000 pounds. Cap threw a throw with enough force to knock Ultron away, creating a strong impact force that broke the dense concrete floor. He is not a god, nor does he rely on miracles, but a human with a determination strong enough to overshadow all natural limits. Captain America does not only confront violent forces and enemies. First of all, we must mention Red Skull, also known as Johann Schmidt, a villain with extreme fascist ideology. Red Skull is the embodiment of brutal dictatorship, ready to crush all the freedom values that Captain America protects. Captain America also has to face more dangerous opponents in terms of tactics, such as Crossbones and Baron Zemo. Crossbones is the epitome of cold destruction, a cold-blooded assassin with a relentless desire to destroy. Meanwhile, Baron Zemo is a master of psychological warfare who does not need to possess physical strength to be able to push an entire team of superheroes into division and disintegration. Captain America must not only exert all his physical strength, but also use all his mental fortitude to not succumb to dark plots. In each of these battles, Steve Rogers further affirms the ideals he has sworn to protect with all his flesh and soul. The Thing, real name Ben Grimm, is a living symbol of brute strength and unshakable endurance. Born from a fierce storm of cosmic radiation, his body transformed into a solid block of living stone, giving him superhuman strength beyond imagination. Lifting hundreds of tons for Ben is as easy as someone carrying a bowl of hot pho, no need for elaborate movements. The Thing's super hard rock skin covers his entire body like an impenetrable armor. Completely immune to ordinary weapons, he just stands there like an impenetrable wall. Bombs, direct attacks, or even other super soldiers can hardly leave a scratch on his body. Ben Grimm's fighting style is the embodiment of the fiery street spirit. He is not fussy about his moves, not flashy like well-trained fighters. The way he fights is to rush straight at his opponent with explosive power, throwing punches like thunder. Each strike feels like it wants to crush the ground. The Thing doesn't need technique because with such strength and toughness, he is a stone nightmare for anyone who dares to confront him. Ben Grimm is one of the characters with the greatest physical strength on Earth. He is only behind legendary monsters like Juggernaut, Hulk, Sentry, and a few entities of the same level. However, that does not reduce Ben's legendary status. The Thing's strength is only enough to be classified at level 5, an impressive but still limited level. The Thing can only lift objects of terrible weight, but can also withstand fierce collisions that most other superheroes must fear. Under that cracked stone skin is a resilient heart. Each punch he throws is as heavy as a sledgehammer hitting the enemy, breaking the surrounding space with a loud explosion. Ben Grimm's strength is in holding a giant alien spacecraft from being thrown off the Earth, lifting an oil rig, and stopping a multi-story building weighing approximately 30,000 tons from collapsing and returning it to its original position. The Thing was also able to overpower a pile driver mechanism that was said to be strong enough to push through a planet. Underwater, the Thing proved to be on par with Namor's incredible raw strength, even gaining the upper hand. Surprisingly, despite being weaker, the Thing was still strong enough to send an attacking Savage Hulk flying with a powerful blow. Demonstrated the ability to knock down and stun Savage Hulk while still fighting on his own, was also able to draw blood from Green Scar, who had a much higher base strength level than Savage Hulk, and defeated Immortal Hulk, who was also one of the strongest incarnations of the Green Goliath, who had punished the Puppet Master and thus was not entirely agreeable to the Puppet Master's control. Indeed, the Thing has always been portrayed as the Hulk's rival, although usually weaker. The Thing is not only famous for his strength through fierce battles with a series of the most brutal enemies in the universe, Dr. Doom is the name associated with the deepest hatred. Doom not only confronts the Fantastic Four with strength, but also with sinister plots and sophisticated manipulation plans. The Thing also has to face enemies from strange worlds and strange universes, such as Mole Man, Blastar, and Annihilus. Mole Man leads an army of underground creatures, challenging Ben's enduring strength in the dark underground battles. Blastar from the underworld brings with him a fierce destructive power, while Annihilus from the negative space possesses the ambition to destroy all life. Each opponent brings an unpredictable danger, forcing the Thing to fight not only with his fists, but also with an unyielding will. Every time he goes into battle, the Thing is like a living mountain, standing tall against the storms of the universe. No matter where the enemy comes from, no matter how destructive his power, Ben Grimm still stands firm, swinging his fists to destroy all plots and protecting his teammates with all his strength. Subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot, and moreover, you will see great videos every day. You are the best. Thank you very much. A cold winter night under the gloomy sky covered with ash, the city was in ruins after the terrible explosion at the Baxter building. Broken glass, twisted steel, and billowing black smoke painted a picture of the apocalypse. Ben Grimm struggling in a frenzy when his mind was taken over by strange energy from a failed experiment. Every step he took made the ground crack. Every swing of his arm could flatten an entire building. I think in the midst of that chaos, Captain America was sent to stop Ben Grimm. With his steely courage and extensive experience on the battlefield, Steve Rogers quickly located the Thing. He rushed in, moving like a ghost among the rubble, dodging the thunderous punches from the Thing. Captain America was forced to use his superior fighting skills, combining speed, agility, and tactical intelligence. He used his shield to block each giant attack, looking for an opening to approach. Each collision between the Vibranium shield and Ben's stone fists created a cannon-like explosion, tearing the night apart. Each time the Thing's punch landed, the road surface cracked like eggshells, and cars were blown away like broken toys. The violent collisions shook the entire neighborhood, making every breath heavy in the chaos. The Thing became more and more ferocious as he fought. The thick concrete walls were smashed to pieces. The steel electric poles were bent and thrown to the ground like rotten tree branches. Buses and cars were continuously lifted and thrown in a frenzy. In the face of such a violent storm, Captain America could not rely on pure strength. He had to be flexible and creative every second. Steve used guerrilla tactics, cleverly dodging among the rubble, taking advantage of the terrain to counterattack weak points such as Ben's joints, eyes, and knees. At a decisive moment, Captain America came up with a bold counterattack, throwing the shield with great force, bouncing off the wall, hitting the Thing straight in the side, causing the stone giant to stagger back. Captain America quickly realized that the Thing was no longer himself. Under his thick stone skin, Ben Grimm was struggling unconsciously, dominated by a dangerous alien energy source. It was not just a spontaneous rage, but an evil force that was forcing him to destroy everything around him. Captain America knew very well the difference in physical strength between himself and Ben. He was a top super soldier, agile, durable, and had superior skills, but even so, if the Thing caught him just once, his fate would end in an instant. A punch from that stone hand could shatter hard steel. Steve Rogers was forced to make the most of every tactical advantage he had. He moved continuously, like a gust of wind across the battlefield, filled with rubble and fire, dodging each giant punch that rained down like the sky. His eyes never left Ben for a second, fighting while searching for signs of an opening in the frenzy. Every time the Vibranium shield touched the stone fist, sparks flew like lightning, tearing through the night. The city was in ruins. The clash between the Thing and Captain America quickly ended. Although Steve Rogers possesses top-notch fighting skills, agility, and excellent tactical intelligence, in front of Ben Grimm's pure strength and terrifying endurance, all efforts become extremely fragile. Captain America tried to dodge, counterattacking with absolute precision, but gradually he was pushed into a passive position by that terrible power. A lightning strike hit the Vibranium shield, making Steve falter. Another strike, Cap was thrown into the rubble, breathing heavily in his chest. The Thing stood tall like a statue of a god of war in the midst of the devastation, his eyes flashing with a fierce light like a fire burning in the dark night. The Thing was the winner. He not only defeated one of the best warriors on Earth, but also proved that when anger and absolute power are one, nothing can stop Ben Grimm. The Thing won by pure strength, 9/10 times. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thank you very much.